Now at 6:30, protesters speak out against Athens' proposed income tax increase. With just weeks left until the primary election, what opponents are saying about the issue.
Plus,
he was the Pope of the people.
Thousands arrive in Rome from all over the globe to pay their respects to Pope Francis. The latest about the Pope's funeral rites before his burial.
And in sports, softball faces their toughest test of the year. Newswatch starts right now. The Mason County Police Department is looking for any information on a missing juvenile.
17-year-old Amy Ratemeyer was last seen in the Camp Conley area outside of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. She is 5'4", weighs 130 pounds, and has short, light brown hair. She also has a stick and poke tattoo of a deck of cards on her right arm.
If you have any information, you can call the number on your screen. Thanks for joining us. I'm Allison Patton.
And I'm Donovan Varney. Welcome to Newswatch. We have a lot to get to tonight, but first, let's turn on over to our forecaster, Steve Nedlick. Steve, what can we expect to see tonight?
Yeah, guys, we can expect another beautiful night tonight as we're still sitting at 82 degrees and clear skies. Now, we're seeing this warm weather all across the state of Ohio. I mean, we're 76 in Springfield, 81 in Athens, 75 in Wilmington, so it's all over. We are seeing this wonderful weather. Now, along with this wonderful weather, we are also seeing these clouds stay out of our area, so it's led to some really nice sunny skies. They're starting to move in as this high pressure moves out, but for right now, we are going to have a pretty clear night and only getting down to 55 degrees. So if you have any plans tonight, you're only really going to need a sweatshirt, and that's about it. So it's starting to feel a little bit like summer out there. Tomorrow is when we really start to feel like summer, with some showers in the evening possible, and again, a high of 84, but Friday is when we're really going to start to see that threat of rain. So stay tuned for that, as they could have some rumbles of thunder as we move into Friday night, so stay tuned for that.
Thanks, Steve. Protesters gathered outside City Hall today to speak out against Athens' proposed income tax increase. The ballot initiative, also known as Issue 3, proposes a 0.3% increase to the city's income tax, raising rates to 2.5%. City officials say the increase is needed for the city to keep up with inflation, but opponents want to know how else the city will cut its spending. Protesters say more people should know about Issue 3.
And we're just kind of trying to get out here today, make more people aware about it, and let more people express their opinion about it, really.
Voters have until May 6th to cast their vote on Issue 3. If passed, the increase will go into effect January 2026. With actions by the Trump administration to make spending cuts to the federal government, several libraries are feeling the effects. WOUB's Charlie Lusk joins us live in studio now with the story.
Athens County Public Library serves as a beacon for many local residents, as many libraries do in Southeast Ohio. But the Trump administration federal cut spendings are affecting the organization's services and long-term plans. For years, Athens County Public Libraries has been trying to fund the expansion of its branch in Chauncey. The library system was hoping for a grant from the EPA's Community Change Program, but actions by the Trump administration to drastically cut spending has slashed any hope of a new building.
That's basically set us back to square one in terms of being able to accomplish that work, which would absolutely have a massive impact on both of those communities. The Chauncey Library is our smallest library building, and they are desperately in need of a new building.
Meanwhile, the effective closure of the Institute of Museum and Library Services means several different projects for the library system are in peril. This includes ebook access, drop-off lockers, and accessible trading with other libraries. Ebooks, through the Libby app, are funded by the Institute, meaning that the freeze could shrink or get rid of patrons' access to the digital catalog. The Institute of Museum and Library Services funds a consortium of public libraries in Ohio. Athens County Public Libraries are not a part of this consortium. However, the library does often trade books with libraries in the group, meaning that cuts could put limits on Athens' catalog, according to Director Nicholas Tepe.
Of the consortium by the state library using IMLS funds definitely puts the accessibility of those materials at risk for our patrons.
With cuts, freezes, and several other actions by the Trump administration, libraries in Southeast Ohio are figuring out how to adjust to a new reality. With IMLS funding frozen and other potential cuts, libraries in the area are filled with doubt. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Charlie Lusk, live in studio.
Thanks, Charlie. University faculty and unions across Ohio are taking steps to challenge Senate Bill 1. The faculty union at Youngstown State University have already gotten 5,000 signatures to start the process to make a petition to repeal the law that prohibits DEI programs in public universities and limits faculty strikes. They would need 250,000 valid signatures by early July before taking their petition to state officials. But some groups are taking different stances against SB 1. The Ohio Education Association is looking at other ways to challenge the law, including in court. Officials say they're not participating in the repeal process because it's too uncertain and too difficult to get enough signatures in time. This comes as universities are already prepping for SB 1 to go into effect in June. The University of Toledo already cut multiple programs from its catalog.
The Ohio House's budget proposes significant cuts to the state's water quality program. H2 Ohio provides grants to fund projects ensuring Ohioans have access to clean water. This includes reducing farm runoff into Lake Erie, decreasing salt contamination into fresh water, and replacing lead pipes. Governor DeWine proposed $270 million for H2 Ohio in his original budget, but the House decreased the program's funding to $150 million, a 45% cut. Opponents say there's still time to restore the funding. The budget still has to be approved by the Senate. The Ohio Supreme Court will decide if same-sex partners who had kids before gay marriage was legalized have the same parental rights as straight couples. The case centers around a lesbian couple that had 3 kids and then split up before the U.S. Supreme Court legalized gay marriage in 2015. Despite never having been officially married, both parents had parental rights, that is, until the children's biological mother filed suit to end the parenting situation. The appellate court ruled the non-biological mother would be a legal parent if she could prove the two would have gotten married if it was legal at the time. The Ohio Supreme Court has not made its final ruling.
Trump is showing signs he might ease up on some of his positions after a report says his tariffs are slowing down the U.S. and global economies.
But it's still unclear if Trump's change of tone can change the fate of the economy, as Amy Kiley reports.
The president and the administration are setting the stage for a deal with China.
President Donald Trump is softening 2 of his most contentious economic positions, but a new report shows it might be too little too late. He says the tariff on many Chinese imports eventually won't be, quote, anywhere near the current level. It's 145% after his repeated hikes.
I'm not going to say, I'm going to play hardball with China. I'm going to play hardball with you, President Xi. No. We're going to be very nice.
Trump also appears to be walking back his social media post that says the Federal Reserve Chair's termination can't come fast enough.
I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates.
The change of tone follows yesterday's grim report from the International Monetary Fund. It forecasts a global economic slowdown of 0.5% year over year. It predicts an even bigger hit to the U.S. economy. The IMF says it revised its forecast due to Trump's trade announcements on April 2nd. They include a 10% universal tariff, reciprocal duties that are on hold for 90 days, and hikes on Chinese imports.
Everybody is saying that the U.S. economy is in trouble, but the administration continues to say it's just a bit of transient or few transient problems. It's more than that, and the evidence is there.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Elon Musk says he's taken a step back from Doge and spending more time with Tesla. Musk told Tesla investors he plans to return to the car company next month. This way he can spend a day or two during the week at Doge, and the rest of the time he'll be running Tesla. But his high-profile support of President Trump and controversial role at Doge may have already cost the company. Tesla reported a 71% drop in sales last month, although some investors remain optimistic. Live look at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, where Pope Francis's body is being kept until his funeral on Saturday.
Until then, a stream of mourners are making their way into the Basilica to pay their final respects. Ivan Rodriguez is in Rome with more on the Pope's funeral rites.
The Pope's singular open wooden casket, reverent in its simplicity, upon the grand altar of St. Peter's Basilica. For hours today, somber hymns and music filled the air, mixed with the quiet steps and hushed final respects from thousands of mourners passing by.
He was the Pope of the people.
Outside, long lines crisscross St. Peter's Square, at one point stretching beyond the walls of Vatican City.
But the line is rather intimidating, so I'm not sure if we'll have a chance to get in today.
The Pope's body will lie in state for public viewing until his funeral Saturday. Many coming to see him were in Rome by chance, on vacation, or a business trip. His popularity propelling them to join the masses in St. Peter's Square.
We are not Christian actually, but I feel in deep, because the Pope is very friendly.
Trying to unify and accepting different religions, races, and genders, and just inclusivity.
Inclusivity. It's what many say they remember most about Pope Francis.
His legacy will be to feed the poor, the outcast, the downtrodden, but also to just be with everyone.
And when 120 cardinals choose the Pope's successor in coming weeks, most mourners hope those values will endure.
We want a Pope who will stand for the truth, to unite everyone, poor, rich, black, white, and all sorts of people, even believers and non-believers.
In Rome, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Of a measles outbreak, what a new study shows about what people really know about measles.
For a lot of kids, it can feel immensely stressful.
And as the school year winds down and final exams pile up, students' anxiety can increase. What experts say you can do to help your child.
And we have some rain on the way, so see what that means for the end of your work week next.
Evolution left these birds flightless, but that doesn't mean they can't fly. For the first time, meet all 18 species, every member of this remarkable family. From unique forest penguins to penguins that have embraced the modern world, they'll do whatever it takes to adapt and thrive.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
There are secrets buried in time. Until now. Walk in the footsteps of long-lost giants as their hidden world comes to life.
That is utterly remarkable.
Whales coming up?
Hold on.
This is huge.
Here we go.
The more whales you have, the healthier the ocean is.
They're the biggest land animals that have ever existed.
The most special thing is going somewhere that nobody ever has before. It's perfect.
In the fourth year of Changing Planet, we are focusing on two of the largest river restoration projects ever attempted.
What?
One urban.
The River Seine is undergoing a colossal detox.
One wild and remote.
These dams will be completely gone within a matter of months.
Everyone knows there's hope. It's big.
These are stories of ambition and action for our changing planet.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
We had a beautiful day in Athens, Ohio today, with highs reaching the mid-80s and clear skies. Now, a majority of the country is seeing these kind of temperatures. I mean, even Minneapolis is seeing near 70 degrees, and so that's just kind of, unseasonable for this time of year. So we are going to see that begin to change as we have this high pressure system move out of our area, and then it will allow some moisture and some instability to move into our area. And that's really when we're going to start seeing the chance for rain as we look into tomorrow night. But for right now, we aren't seeing much, as we are just having these storms pop up. And again, that's because some moisture is coming into our area, but nothing to worry about for us tonight. So we will have a pretty nice night with a low of only 55 degrees. So again, if you want to have any plans tonight, you can dress pretty light, maybe a sweatshirt if you have any plans. But other than that, pretty clear skies. So if you want to go look at some stars, tonight's the night to do it. Now, looking into tomorrow morning, yeah, we have that moisture move in, but it's still going to be relatively clear. Tomorrow night is when we start to see a little bit of a change, as we have some of those showers maybe creep into our area, but nothing really to be worried about. It's Friday that we have to worry about for right now. Again, tomorrow, a high of 84. So if you have any plans, I know that says a possible chance of showers, but again, that's later in the day. If you have any plans outside, make sure you put some sunscreen on. I know I'm going to need it, so we need to just make sure you have that prepared with a high of 84. Now, as we look on Friday is when we have this cold front approach from up north, and that's where we're going to start to see that rain, maybe colder temperatures move into our area, and that's really our threat for rain is going to be more so in the evening to late afternoon hours. Now, as we can tell, at about 8 a.m. on Friday, there's not much in our area. We don't have to worry about much for our morning commute. But as we get to 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we start to see some of these widespread showers. Now, these could lead to maybe a few rumbles of thunder, some heavier downpours. So we really need to be on the lookout for that. And as we get into Saturday morning, it starts to clear out. So Saturday, Sunday should be pretty nice as we have an area of high pressure that is going to move in on Sunday. That's really going to help us out. Again, we're going to have those temperatures sitting at about 73 degrees. But then we have more moisture coming into our area that's also going to help bump the temperatures up. So we're going to see those sunny skies for the weekend. So if you have any plans, really make sure you can get out and enjoy the sun, because on Tuesday, I know it's a lot warmer, but we have some of that rain in the area. So it's really starting to feel a little bit like summer out there with some rain in the area. But for the most part, we're starting to turn that corner, going from spring to summer, and we can really start to enjoy maybe going to the beach, maybe some outside activities like playing basketball. Whatever you really want to do to pass your time, now is the time to do it.
Now, Steve, I know you said it's supposed to rain a little bit tomorrow. How long is it going to rain?
We're not quite sure yet. We have it on Thursday. It's going to be, sprinkles on and off, not really widespread. It's Friday that we're pretty sure at about 2, 3 o'clock. It's going to be pretty widespread. So if you are commuting anywhere Friday night, maybe take a few extra minutes heading out the door, but other than that, it should be pretty okay. Once you get to about Saturday morning, they'll be cleared out.
Hey, I'll take the warm temperatures right now, though. I can't complain about
Absolutely.
this. You hit the nail on the head. It does feel like summer. I had my shorts on today. It was nice out, so can't complain too much about that.
Exactly. Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Steve, for joining us.
Absolutely, thank you guys.
And in other news, how much do you actually know about the measles? Well, a new poll suggests measles misinformation is spreading in the U.S., and most people aren't sure what to believe. The poll shows nearly 2/3 of adults have heard the false claim that the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine causes autism, while a third have heard the false claim that the measles vaccine is more dangerous than the disease. Many Americans know these statements are false, but not everyone believes it. At least half of the adults polled say they're uncertain.
And as school wraps up for the summer, some students might have a lot on their plates, from end-of-the-year sports events to exams or projects. These students could be experiencing stress or anxiety, which looks different in kids than it does in adults. Mandy Gaither has more on surprising signs of academic anxiety.
From end-of-semester projects to finals, tests, and quizzes, this time of year can feel a little overwhelming.
For a lot of kids, it can feel immensely stressful.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says academic anxiety can have some surprising signs in students. They may start to procrastinate in the morning, try to miss the bus. They may skip class, talk back to teachers, or they may not be able to complete assignments. Baumstein says these signs may seem like behavioral issues, but that's not always the case.
We really want to get curious about what they're communicating and make sure we're getting to the root, because for some kids, it's actually anxiety.
That starts with opening up a dialogue with your child. Baumstein says to ask open-ended questions and listen to understand, not just to respond. Then validate and normalize what they're going through and focus on the effort they've put into schoolwork all year, not just the outcome.
If they're worried that they might not get that perfect grade, they're going to be feeling really intense pressure.
And if a child seems to really be struggling, Baumstein says reach out for help.
They're not able to go to school. They can't sleep. They're no longer engaging in activities they used to enjoy. They're withdrawing from their friends. They're not talking. They're tearful. These are signs you really want to pay attention to. And we don't want to wait until it's bubbled up to a point of crisis.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Ohio's softball team faces a ranked opponent in Athens. Find out how it played out.
The Ohio Art Corridor is a destination experience. We would like this to be the largest outdoor art gallery in the world.
Portsmouth was able to field an incredible team for a brief moment in the sun that almost was sweet enough to get them a national championship.
We got land granted to us in Ohio. Great opportunity. Let's go. How would you know you got here? It was just sheer determination and patience and just hard, back-breaking work.
The bridge was acclaimed at the time of being an engineering marvel.
Progress is all about taking the lessons of the past and doing better. So I would hope that now that we know better, we will do better.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow at the Maryland Zoo. Whether it's a cherished heirloom.
This is a wristwatch that was given to my grandfather, George S. Patton Jr.
Or a bargain find.
I paid a total of $7 for the three.
For the three, including zero for the one closest to you. That's utterly amazing.
I thought for $25, what's there to lose? Antiques Roadshow has found wow-worthy treasures at the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Welcome to sports. I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. It was a busy day for Ohio athletics with awards, competition, and tournaments yesterday. Let's get into it. Starting on the green, the women's golf team claimed 6th at the MAC tournament. 3 golfers finished in the top 20, Morgan Rogers, Mackenzie McCree, and Zoe Lubers. The trio finished 13 over par, and they all have more years of eligibility. Rogers, Lubers are both sophomores. And Ohio had a single senior at the tournament, they were able to match last year's 6th place finish. Unfortunately for Ohio, they fell to a historic golf powerhouse, Kent State. Their title was their 26th consecutive MAC women's golf tournament champion. They dominated the field, winning by 26 strokes. The Flashers had 5 top 10 finishes. The next closest school had 2. Back on the diamond, the Bobcats had stiff competition, but first, Skip Miller was honored with MAC Pitcher of the Week for a dominant stretch. She appeared in 4 games, starting 3, compiling 19 innings. Through the week, Miller posted an otherworldly 0.37 ERA, racking up 2 complete games. The junior was able to rack up 24 strikeouts, highlighted by her performance against Miami. Miller struck out 10 and went the distance to secure a 2-0 win for the Bobcats against their rival and former MAC top dogs. Now it's time for Ohio's toughest test of the year. The softball team hosted 22nd-ranked Ohio State, but they had ace Anna Wise on the hill. The Bobcats put the Buckeyes on the back foot early, tagging OSU with an early run off of Emma Hoffner with a sac fly. But Ohio's fortunes reversed in the next frame. Caitlin Farley homered to drive in a run, 2-1 Buckeyes. They followed up the next inning by putting a crooked number 6 runs on Wise. The Bobcats managed 5 runs on the day, led by center fielder Cece Keidel. She had 2 hits and crossed the plate 3 times. But the Buckeye offense was too much, defeating Ohio 15-5. The loss was the second most runs the vaunted Ohio pitching staff allowed all year. Except their 17-1 loss to Cal State Fullerton, the Bobcats have only allowed more than 10 runs one other time. The loss ends Ohio's 5-game winning streak. They now have 3 series against MAC opponents to finish the year: Central Michigan, Ball State, and Western Michigan before the MAC tournament. The baseball team got a chance for revenge against Northern Kentucky, a team that handed them a heartbreaking 8-7 loss earlier this year. It seemed like the game would be a back-and-forth offensive showcase in the first. Northern Kentucky christened the day with an RBI groundout and a walk to go ahead 2-0 in the first. The Bobcats responded with 3 runs in the bottom of the frame. Jackson Cawthorn and Drew Cox each had RBI singles to put the Bobcats ahead. But the Bobcats' bats were silenced from there. For the rest of the night, they managed just 2 more hits and plated no more runs. The Norse, by contrast, put up 8 more in the second inning and finished with 13. The loss was Ohio's 7th straight and their 5th consecutive game surrendering 10 or more runs. They will work to rebound against rival Miami with a series starting this Friday. That's all for sports. Back to you at the desk, Allison.
Thanks, Charlie. Still ahead, the results are in. Stay tuned to hear which Bulldog Beauty won a university's annual pageant.
Work for a government-funded information organization.
Yes, sir.
What kind of information do you give out?
Whatever they ask for.
The community messed up. They missed their opportunity to save something incredibly important.
Having that library to really pull us together into the community has been so helpful.
We're a place where people come together, and we need more of that in this country, not less of it.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
In the beginning, there have always been those of us looking for stories.
This is a huge moment.
I feel like there's nothing around that can stop me.
It's your being. It's who you are.
We need to do something to make a change.
I know that there are people like me out there.
We need to have a voice.
It's what you do next that matters.
You start to discover a deeper part of yourself.
My whole world changed instantly.
Next time on the Vietnam War.
A lot of mud, blood, and artillery.
Casualties mount as U.S. Marines dig in at Con Thien.
We were being called the Alamo. You know, hey, we knew what the Alamo was.
And the Battle of Dak To takes a staggering toll.
Nhìn thấy mặt nhau này để rất gần, chúng tôi hô nổ súng.
When the Vietnam War continues.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
For more than 45 years, Drake University in Iowa has hosted a contest to find the most beautiful bulldog. Inspired by the university's mascot, this year's Bulldog Beauty competition included 30 bulldogs from across the state. Even champions from past competitions filled the crowd to see which bulldog would join the hollowed halls. And this year, it was the 80-pound pup named Milo.
It came full circle. I used to come to this event every year as a Drake student. I fell in love with bulldogs.
Milo is welcome to all the pets. He absolutely loves people.
Milo's owner said they knew he'd have a dog in the competition one day, and now his wrinkly-faced pup from North Liberty will forever be enshrined in Drake history. And in honor of his victory, Milo gets to be the official mascot for the 115th Drake Relays this week, one of the top track and field events in the United States.
A bulldog, and he's adorable, but he would not win this competition.
Oh, would you like? You could still put him in.
He's a little too. He's a little too ugly for that.
Oh, poor bulldog. I'm sure they're cute.
Well, if you were trying to walk your dog tonight would be the perfect night to do it, as we have temperatures as low as 55 degrees. So if you have anything to take care of tonight, tonight's your night. Friday and Saturday might be a little bit iffy. As we head into the rest of the weekend, we're going to see skies clear, and then we'll turn with some rain on Tuesday.
Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching.
And I'm Allison Patton. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.